G'day guys, it's Chris here from Vertex Pest and Weed. I'm just going to give you a brief video on how I bait up a roof void for a rodent issue. If your rodents are not in the roof void and they're actually in your garden and attacking fruit trees, you probably do need to call a professional. But if pest control is not in your budget, hey, at least maybe I can give you some tips and tricks to enable you to have a better chance of success and also do the job safely, which is really important. So the number one thing that I'll say to people is please don't just throw loose baits into your roof void. I know you can buy them loose from Bunnings, but do not just chuck them up there. Rats will pull them out of the roof void and then they become a danger for your pets and children. If your pet does happen to get hold of some rodent bait, do make sure you get them off to the vet and they need a vitamin K1 injection when you get there. The main rat we deal with in Perth is the roof rat, or Rattus rattus. So the roof rat is a slender, agile rodent and is a really good climber and gets into really small nooks and crannies. So when we get up into the roof void, you'll see that I'm squashing myself into places that I really prefer not to go. I will even give you a little bit of a review of Ballajura roof voids at that point. Now, preventing rodents. So there's a few things you can do. Make sure you keep your lawns and your weeds tied down nicely. If the rodents don't have cover, they're much less likely to come towards your house. The other thing that you can do is prevent their food sources being close to your house. So if you've got fruit trees, just make sure you pick up any fallen fruit. If you've got pets, make sure that you remove their food after you've fed them and don't just leave them out there all the time. So all these things are a food source for rodents and they'll bring them in closer to your house. Rodents are very habitual, and then when they're near your house, you'll find that they will make that their home and will be hard to get rid of. So when you're heading up to the roof void, there's a few things you need to consider, mainly regarding safety. Just make sure that you have a good quality ladder, that you lock the mechanisms, don't leave them loose. Make sure it's on firm, stable ground. Make sure there's somebody else there when you're climbing into the roof. There's nothing worse than falling through a roof and no one's there to help you. You could be seriously injured. Next thing to consider is the fibers that you're going to have up in the roof void there from the insulation. I use a Sudstrom respirator with a P3 filter, but if you guys, that's a bit overkill for DIY, so using any dust mask or P2, P3 dust mask will be perfectly fine for a one-off rodent job up in the roof void. I recommend covering your skin because the insulation makes me itchy as you like. So when you're in the roof void, you're going to be looking for places where rodents are living. You can see the loose baits there that I get so angry about. I'll pop up a little angry face soon. You're going to need to find the nesting material, the droppings, the rub marks. So once I move my big head out of the way, you will be able to see some of that in the background. They've used insulation for nesting. There's droppings all through this area. And there's rub marks over the top of the wires. It's this brown, greasy area. That's where you need to place your bait boxes, right where the droppings are. In your average roof, you probably want to install somewhere between 6 to 10 bait boxes with between 2 to 4 baits in each box. And now for my review of Ballajura roof voids.
Alright guys, that is how you could, if you wanted to, bait up a roof void. Didn't use any of the normal tricks and tools that I'd use, extendable poles and the like. Just got them to the very best spots that I could. Of course, this is a Ballajura roof, and Ballajura roofs suck. Yeah, I'll take you down the bottom and I'll show you how we sign off.
Couple of professional courtesies. I always give the manhole a quick wipe. I always use a drop cloth, so when I come out dirty and messy, then I know that I'm not going to leave that all over your house, and then it's off to do the paperwork and sit in the air conditioner for a little while. Guys, if you need help, give us a call, 1300 08 PEST.